Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever. My name is Kevin, and this is Channel Big Red. For you first-timers, welcome aboard. For those of you who are watching me again, welcome back. Good to have you. Today, I'd like to talk about gas prices. Now, we all know that gas prices have been on the rise for quite some time. I started driving back in 1999, and I remember the price of gas being around $1.39 or so a gallon. I can't give you an exact number, but I know it was around that area. I also remember that when $2 a gallon was the price of gas, I, for one, was very angry about that and thought it was way too high. And now we're seeing gas prices at $3 a gallon, $4 a gallon, $5 a gallon. And yes, I've seen $5 a gallon, and perhaps you have too, especially if you live in the metropolitan areas of like New York or Los Angeles, Chicago. You may have seen that yourself. What gets me about the price of gas and the American consumer is that when gas prices stay this high, they'll go down eventually, and people will be convinced that the price of gas is low again. Now, I understand comparing $4 to $5. I also understand comparing $3 to $4, $2 to $3. Gas is too high when they are at prices of $2, $3, $4, $5 a gallon and so on. If you ask me, get gas prices back down to $1, $1.50 a gallon, and then we'll talk about low. It's way too much. Whether you want to believe it or not, even at $2 a gallon, your hard-earned money is still being thrown out the window at an alarming rate. And all it is for the big companies, the oil companies, to receive their profits. And boy, are they benefiting at our expense. And what's really unfortunate about this whole deal is that we are already in a slumping economy here in the United States. Now, if you're watching this from overseas, I'm not quite sure what your economies are like. I do know that in some countries, gas prices are much higher than ours, and we feel for you. What we have here, believe me, in our economy, it ain't cheap. In fact, it's becoming so that we are having a hard time being able to afford our own lives, especially to those who don't have a job or are living on Social Security. Gas prices are way too high, and they really, really burn a hole in our asses, plain and simple. So, I personally criticize every one of you who believes that $2, $3, or $4 a gallon is cheap. Yeah, sure, compare all you want. But the plain fact of the matter is you're still paying too much. I'm still paying for too much. The advice I want to give you is do not be brainwashed. Don't be brainwashed by these corporate idiots into believing that when gas prices go from $4 to $3, that you're saving money. You're not. You're still paying way too much. So that's the message I want to get across to you. And my bracket broke, so I have to hold this. So I'm trying to hold it as still as I can. So what do you think? Am I rational in my thought? Am I irrational in my thought? You're going to end up spending this money anyways, but don't be brainwashed into thinking you're not paying very much for gas when it's down to $2 to $3 a gallon. Or if it hits $5 a gallon when it goes down to $4. It's still too much. We are all paying too much for gas. So, all I can do personally is hope that there is a solution to this whole deal. Natural resources are being tapped. Maybe perhaps we will have a government in the United States who will allow us to drill within our own borders. We rely on American fuel and gas prices, or we rely on foreign fuel rather, and gas prices are still too damn high. Where does it end? You tell me, because I sure don't know. Have a good and safe day. Thank you for watching.